Welcome to Bringing Hope Home. We're Bryce and Colette Schaffer, and we're on a mission to bring God's hope, healing, and practical strategies right into your living room. Whether you're navigating marriage challenges, parenting struggles, or just looking to build a stronger family foundation, we've got your back. Real conversations, biblical wisdom, and hope-filled solutions. That's what we're all about. So let's dive in and discover how God can breathe new life into your home and relationships. Hey, welcome to Bringing Hope Home. We are your hosts, Bryce and Colette Schaffer. And here we are with another end of February. February always goes so fast.
Yeah, it does.
But the month of love. And as a church, we've been talking about love. And so with our podcast, we also want to just kind of team up with what we're doing at church. And so
if you haven't caught our church services, go back, watch them. They're on
New Hope Church.
Yep, they're on YouTube, they're on Facebook, and they'll be a blessing. And it'll be a different, still talking about love, but not focused just so much on the family. And so you'll be blessed for sure.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about more of love between a couple.
Yeah. Because that's very important. That is the heart of the home.
Yes.
And when the family relationship, the husband-wife relationship is strong, everything else can be chaos around you, but the family is stable. Mm-hmm. And you're going to get through it because that love is there. That connection between husband and wife is there. And the kids see it. I know our kids have mentioned in times past, they didn't know it at the time, but as they've matured and left the home, to see us, and one of the things they've always appreciated is the love of mom and dad. Mm-hmm. And
it just gave them a stability that
right.
They didn't even realize it did, but they were like, yeah, we never had to worry about if mom and dad were getting a divorce. I mean, that never even.
Right. And so that stability certainly helped. Mm-hmm. And so work on your relationship, and what better month to make sure you do it as in February. Yep. And we're talking about the fruit of the Spirit. Yep. And the first one is love. And love conquers all. We've talked about that. Mm-hmm. Love is God. And so God is in us, and God is love. And so guess what? We have the ability through Christ to stay and walk in love. Yep. And so let's do it as a couple.
So one of the biggest things that couples have a hard time with is communication.
Yeah.
And so it comes down, break in communication, or there's just a lot of, resolving conflict, how they're doing, but it all comes down to communication. And so we thought, let's go through the 5 love languages.
Yeah.
And so there's a book by Gary Chapman.
There it is, if you're watching us on YouTube.
Yep.
So we're going to promote this book today.
Yeah, the 5 love languages. And you can actually go online, and I think it's just 5 love languages. I'll have the link also down below.
Yeah.
But you can go and take a quiz actually to see what you kind of fall into. Now, each of these that we're going to talk about, we should be doing a little bit of each of all of them. But it is good to know how your spouse, what is their love language.
Which
so you
one
can,
do they lean toward?
What they lean towards, so you know how to really, we know how to push bad buttons.
Oh, we do.
So this is learning how to push the good buttons.
Oh, that would be a phenomenal idea.
That's a great idea, right?
Let's push the good buttons.
Push the good buttons.
And guess what? Your life will go a lot better.
Yeah. You like to talk about the love bank.
Yes, I do. And the love bank is something just like a bank account. Life needs withdrawals, has withdrawals. Our bank account, the electric bill, the water bill, the internet bill, the food bill, the gas bill. I mean, their bills go on and on and on. So to be able to pay for that, you got to deposit. You got to continually replenish the supply in the bank account. And so we do the same thing in a love bank. We as a couple have a love bank that we have built up, and you start with kind of a padded amount when you first start dating. And then you need to learn to increase that amount because your life then starts taking withdrawals. Yep. from it. So you have to learn to deposit back. And one of the ways I talk about with couples is to take those 5 love languages, find out which one you are, express that to your spouse correctly, and then allow them to then do that into your life, back toward you, and vice versa, and creating more deposits rather than withdrawals.
That's right.
And so
Okay.
we love these, and we've been using this for 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it really does work. The love languages, if you can understand that,
And we do go into this in our course as well. So
right.
again, if you're interested in getting more into, okay, yeah, we need more communication or whatever,
and we need to work on this
work on it.
issue, contact us,
Yeah.
get a hold of us, and we'll help you do this. But number one for Gary Chapman is words of affirmation. And I know this isn't scientifically proven, but I'll tell you, it's been proven out in life.
Mm-hmm.
We all, and like this one, we all like to hear, well done, you're doing a good job.
Well, it kind of has been proven in
congratulations.
science.
Yeah.
They prove that words, like positive words, like with just rice or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then talking negative, like the positive builds. And even we have a grandson, a baby, and he's 3 months old. And when you say, I love you, he lights up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I haven't tried saying anything negative towards him.
No.
But you
Why
can
would
talk to him, say other words, and he doesn't light up. But when you say, I love you, he lights up and big smile. So the power of words.
Yeah, they're in there.
They're in there, yeah.
But yeah, and the whole thing, I'm talking about these 5 love languages. They aren't scientifically based. Now, words are. Words have been scientifically based. They've proven it on plants, speaking to growing plants. But so words of affirmation, kind, humble, encouraging. And I think we, again, like you said at the beginning of this podcast, all 5 of these we need to do on a regular basis for our spouse, because the world is not going to give many of these to us, and to your kids. Your kids need words of affirmation. You're going to do great today. I love it when I come, right. I love it when I come across, these little clips of dads and their kids going to school, or the moms going to school, and they repeat an affirmation of who they are. And you can see these kids just kind of get a little swagger to them. And because, throughout the day, it's going to get depleted. And so I just light up and hit replay because I need it in my life. And so words of affirmation are huge. And one of the biggest words of affirmation that you don't think of real quickly is forgiveness. I forgive you, or will you forgive me? And that's humble. That's, because we all make mistakes. And so that's affirming that I made a mistake. And that's okay. And our kids need to see that. Our spouse needs to see that. None of us like those people that think they're right all the time and they're the best thing since sliced bread, as I like to say.
That doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't even make sense. I know, but it's a saying I learned somewhere along the eons of my life. but again, it's good to know and be affirmed. And some people, that's their ticket. So
yeah, words of affirmation are very important. We just need to hear. It's so easy to nitpick and to nag and to see the negative and speak the negative. I mean, that's just how we default to the negative. But actually, how we are created in the image of God, we are created in love. And so when we activate those and speak those things, we light up, we come to life. So
right.
You have to practice them. So the next one is quality time. Is this one yours?
Probably.
Yeah,
I like quality time. And that's just focused attention. And I always say,
put the phones away.
Put the phone, that would be a novel idea.
That would be great.
Put some phones away before bedtime, during mealtime, car ride time.
We've always had the rule at our table, no phones at the table. And when we go out to eat, no phones.
Yep. Right. So
quality time.
Put quality time. Focus the attention.
Yeah.
That's the key. I mean, so your phones could be out. I mean, you could have a conversation and drift away for a minute, but come back,
But
be
when
a
you're
part of it.
focused your attention, you're having a conversation, you're really getting to know the heart of somebody. Um, when you have the eyes,
Yeah,
somebody's eyes, then you know that they're really listening.
right.
And so that's the thing. Listening and communication are different. And so with quality time, it's being heard.
It's present.
Yeah. And if someone doesn't feel like they're being heard, they're just going to shut up and stop talking.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter.
Because it doesn't matter, and they know they're not going to be heard. So why try?
And you married your spouse to be a helpmate both ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need to be heard by each other all the time on every issue and countless times over the years. I don't care how many years you've been married. We've been married 30 years this summer.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's still times we need to hear each other's voice and thought process on it, not just what's for dinner
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. So number 3 of Gary Chapman's 5 love languages is receiving gifts.
Yeah, it's always a fun one.
It is a fun one. It's certainly not mine. I don't think about it. And that's hard when you don't, it's not your tendency or your least like one. It
Mm-hmm.
is a little bit of a stretch to get into this mode. Like Christmas time always stresses me out to trying to find gifts for loved ones.
I do remember though once. You want to know what my favorite gift was that you gave me?
Oh, sure, this would be good.
Maybe not favorite gift because you've given me some pretty good ones, but this one stands out. We were first married, and I don't know
This
if
is good
we
to know.
had
Good
Ethan
thing
or
we have
not,
this podcast.
but I think you were at a basketball something. Anyway,
That could make sense.
you came back and I don't know, but there
Okay.
was a red robe, bathrobe,
Oh, yeah.
on the bed, like as a surprise for me. And I thought that was just so sweet. I've always remembered that. I felt so loved that there was this red
That
bathrobe that
wasn't
you
a
thought of.
basketball thing.
What were
That
you
was
away on?
that was away
Special
at a
ed.
special ed conference.
Well, something you were away at.
And then we
Anyway,
had
you
some
came
time
back.
at the mall. Yeah, I
There you go.
remember.
There you go. But anyway, when you were away, you thought of me and brought that back. So that was very sweet.
Yep. So receiving gifts, and a lot of people think that's investing in love,
Mm-hmm.
in the love that you have with each other. And a lot of times, again, that gift, when you saw it every time, reminded you of the love that we have and me thinking of you. And that means a lot to some people.
It was more of the thought that you did something to show that you were thinking of me. You've done a note, sometimes does just as much.
Right.
That you just leave a note for them because that's a little gift that they find sometime that just says, "Hey, love you, have a good day." That could be a gift.
Yeah.
Right.
So gifts don't have to be big. They don't have to be intricate.
Mm-hmm.
And some are, and those are fun too, but just receiving gifts, just visual symbols.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The next one is acts of service. I like this one.
Yeah.
Um,
Tell us why. No, I
no,
need to know why.
you've always been good at this.
Right.
Acts of service of just seeing something that needs to be done and doing it, or doing something for me. He's really good at just doing pretty much all of these because, as you have said, I am your hobby.
Yes, you are.
And so when someone is your hobby, or when you have a hobby, you talk nicely about it.
Yeah.
You spend
Quality
time.
time.
You
get things for
get
that hobby.
things. You service it. Make sure everything is good. I mean, all of these.
Yeah. Right.
So
there you go.
good job.
But yeah, good thanks. But acts of service is always a good one, and it's no strings attached. I'm not doing an act of service, doing the dishes, taking out the trash, so I can have that little something later. It's not about that. It's about serving one another, taking the load off of the other, or just, again, loving on them, doing it out of love.
Blessing them.
Right. And who better to bless than your spouse?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my goodness.
And it even
They're
means
not here to
more
serve
if
you.
they don't have to tell you.
Oh, yes.
Because when they tell you, then it's like, you do it grudgingly. But if you do something before they tell you, then that.
Yeah, and it's not about that honey-do list or that need-to-do list.
Right.
It's about just serving one another out of this month's word, love. It's out of serving love and thinking beyond you, beyond the circumstance, and acting upon that for the other. It's so key. It is really key. So, if I don't know what to do for my spouse and have it a love thing because, it's just a drudgery or it's just all about chores. We encourage you to start making a list. Make a list of 10 things you would like to do together or for one another, and then start checking them off as you, spur of the moment, do that. Keep the list handy would be a nice idea. Or today I will show my love to you by, and fill in the blank.
Yeah.
I'm going to just, today, I'm going to purpose to do this for my spouse. Go start their car. One day, Colette gets up earlier in the morning than I do. She likes to have a little extra time for her time with God. And I used to try to get up with her, but that doesn't work out. She likes just her and God. She's pretty selfish in that way. She doesn't want me chiming in on anything. So I purposely stay in bed. I really do. I could get up with you, but I don't. I purposely stay in bed because I love you. That's my act of service to keep sleeping. But there is, just the other day, I was kind of awake beforehand, and I got up and went and fed the cat, turned on the fireplace, started the coffee, the tea, or I think I did. So it was, and then I jumped back into bed.
Yeah.
And you came out, and it was like, oh,
It's already done.
it was done. It was so cute.
Aw.
Oh, everybody, yeah, pat myself on the back.
So sweet.
But that is an easy thing for me to do.
Yeah. So very thoughtful.
So that's the kind of stuff we're talking about here. Yeah.
And the last one, of course, is physical touch. And, we are made for touch.
Yeah.
And it's just an important part of any relationship that you have that physical touch. A hand on the shoulder, as educators, even a hand on the shoulder just saying, hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, in massive sports, it's always high fives.
Yeah, high fives, just touching. It just says, yeah, I got you. We're here together. And so as a spouse, when you're touching each other, always hold hands. If you're traveling in the car, hold hands. Or, taking a walk, those kind of things. Just find ways to.
Yeah, find ways to connect with each other with that physical touch. And again, this is not sexual. This is just God's love touching and communicating and expressing each other. Massaging. Yeah, or get her a gun.
That doesn't lead to anything else.
Right. So
sometimes
get her a massage gun.
No,
that's
not as good.
Okay. But yeah, and so all in all, what we're trying to say here is love makes a difference, makes the difference with everything. And the world is, there with the chaos and the demands of life. Our home is to be filled with love and peace and joy. And the best way to do that is to bring love in, because everything then works and revolves around love.
When your spouse comes home or when they're with you, they should feel like, oh, I'm home. They should feel home. Home is you, not the place.
Not that, no, I'm going to take a detour and avoid the home.
Right.
And if that's you, find out why. Do a self-reflection and then try to go about fixing that why. And I know
Don't
you
say
can't.
It's just me.
Yeah,
can't change.
Right. That's not
We all
true.
can change.
And again, it's not about nagging and blaming, but there's things we can do to make your house a loving home. And you start by doing these 5 love languages. You really do. Little by little, you can make your home full of love and joy. And that's what we want.
Again, you're interested in us helping with that. We do have a coaching program. We have a course. So
yeah, please check us out at SchaefferMinistries.com.
All right. And until next time, thanks for being with us.
Yep.
And bring hope home to your life today. Bye.
If you're listening on the Apple Podcast app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. See you next week.